Hey, this is Scott Spears, and I'd like to welcome you to yet another edition of The Exchange, and this is an Exchange episode filled with all kinds of excitement, joined by Kerrington Nelson and Matt Morgan, and we are on the precipice of the trip to Philadelphia, WrestleMania 40, my goodness, which we will be in attendance for on Sunday evening, nearly 77,000 people in Philadelphia. It's going to be exciting. The Hall of Fame ceremony on Friday night, 10 p.m. on the Peacock. I'll be inducting Thunderbolt Patterson. The Rock will be there inducting his grandmother, Paul Heyman. It's just stars galore. And you two will be on the ride for this big trip to the city of brotherly love, where the country was founded and the Constitution was signed at Independence Hall, right across the street from the Liberty Bell. What's the excitement level at right now, Matt?
You know, I'm pretty excited. I was a little, there's still a lot not anymore, but there was a lot I had to do in this, like a 4-day gap of time before today, so I got all that done, so, yeah, I'm excited now.
Now, is there any anxiety? Because part of this, well, a good portion of this will be a work thing, because the pictures and the video and the audio that we take, hopefully we'll be able to bring back to the people and show them.
Not really, no. If anything, it's more, there's just a long drive.
Oh, the drive, okay.
I do like driving, though, so it's a win-lose.
Kerrington, what do you think?
I'm really excited. I've been feeling pretty antsy about this, like excited, anxious, nervous, like mix of emotions. I told Scott earlier that I had a dream last night that I met Taylor Swift, so I think my mindset is like, oh my gosh, we're going to be around famous people. That's so cool. Like, I can't wait.
Well, who knew that WrestleMania was such a thing? I had no idea. It was the center of the universe. You know, honest to goodness. I mean, tickets are hugely expensive. They sell this thing out. There's nearly 200,000 people coming to WrestleMania from 50 different states. I think it's 7 different countries. I forget how many Canadian provinces. I mean, it is unbelievable what this thing draws and does. And when you think about it, it's probably right because, I mean, you have The Rock there, who's going to be a part of it. I looked up today on Google. He's the second biggest movie star in the country at this particular point, involved in wrestling. Plus, you just have a whole host of things going on that weekend. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you've been a wrestling fan previously, I feel like that was when it was bigger, and I mean, now it's just been growing, it seems. And now that I'm going, I'm like, oh, if they're not going to WrestleMania, like, what are you doing? You got to be there.
You know what's interesting? The people who've come up to me who clearly are wrestling fans, clearly there are a lot of wrestling fans around.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have guessed that. Before this, I had no idea that WWE was big. I mean, they have WWE and boxing, and they have other, like, fighting-like sports. So I guess I just thought the fans would be kind of dispersed across the different genres of fighting.
Well, it's interesting because today somebody actually came up to me and they were stopped. And I thought they actually wanted something else from me being in the grocery store. And it was a younger guy. He was probably maybe 30, 35 years old. And I walked up to him and said, you know, I just want to tell you how excited I am for you. I'm so glad somebody from Marion's doing something like this. And I said, well, hopefully I can deliver. He says, I've heard you on the radio a lot, and you're going to do great. It's so great. Have a great time, and I'll be watching.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You love some support from the people of Marion.
And then there's those people who say, well, you need to be energetic when you get up there. You need to turn on some energy, and you need to write a speech. Why don't you have a speech written? I mean, there's that too.
But you know what works for you, so I think it's best that you stick to what you know. You don't switch things up right before the Super Bowl, you know? Like, if now's not the time to practice and change your strategy. And Scott knows what he's doing. He's a pro.
What's interesting, the other night Kerrington and I hung out together, and during that conversation we were having, at one point I just improv'd an induction speech for her. And now, don't tell any of it, because some of that might seep in. But what'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely an induction speech. I think it carried the message that you wanted it to have. I think you hit all the necessary points. I was like, yeah, if you deliver that, I'm clapping for it. That's good.
I cannot wait to get in front of 21,000 people. I don't care if they boo. I don't care if they cheer. Just give me some emotion. That's all I want. And I want to cue it, because it's really about Thunderbolt. My goal in this whole thing is to cue it up for him. You know, set the ball up and let him hit it. I want to pitch it right over the plate.
Yeah, and if you can give the same speech you gave the other night, I think you'll be set.
And I gave that with no notes and no preparation.
Absolutely.
So I don't know why people think they have to write everything down.
Maybe they just think an audience of one versus an audience of thousands is just a little different, but...
It's just free association.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to this first because these are melting. Matt, what's going on here?
So there was an ad that I saw on television for these orange creamsicle.
Orange creamsicle
Frosties here.
Now, I have really enjoyed the strawberry Frosty, which I don't think is good that it's seasonal, but whatever.
Maybe you'll love the
Maybe.
orange dreamsicle one.
Yeah, there was the what was the oh, it's the thing apple spice. I didn't care for that one.
Ooh, I
No.
never even tried that.
No,
Never heard of it.
what's the one that no, not apple.
Pumpkin
spice.
Oh, ew.
No, I didn't care for that.
No.
No, but a strawberry I love. So let's try this thing. Orange creamsicle Frosty. If that doesn't say good, nothing will.
I'm nervous. I don't like oranges, but
Well, I don't think this
I
is
do
an
like.
orange.
Yeah, I do like creamsicles.
Trust me, I'm sure there's no
so-
oranges in here.
I hate.
Oh wow!
Oh my god!
Matt had a big spill.
What is that you did on our set? Jeez,
it's
Louise.
fine.
Oh, this is good for a talk show. What do you think?
Oh. The orange is kind of faint, but like.
But it does taste like a dreamsicle.
Yeah, I
There's
taste
a
the
dreamsicle
dreamsicle,
taste to
but
it.
it's not overpowering.
No, it's not overpowering, but it definitely tastes like a melted dreamsicle.
Yeah.
Or like when you leave a dreamsicle on the heat. Well, that cleaned it right up. That looks good.
I got the puddle up. You know. Now it's just.
I hope you're not like this in a hotel room.
No.
Oh.
God almighty.
It would be better if there wasn't. You know.
So
Yeah.
you said that you thought this would taste good. What do you think?
Not gonna lie, not as good as I thought. But
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's hitting the spot for
Because
what
I'm not
I
a big
wanted.
sweet person, so
Well,
it's not very sweet. So I like that.
I like the orange sherbet, how it's just more I guess tangy. This is more sweet than tangy, but it's good.
By the way, also don't forget Eclipse Mania coming up Monday at Steak and Shake from 1 to 5 p.m. Mary Ellen Withrow will be there, signing autographs, sending up a $1 bill. That's going to be exciting. Thunderbolt Patterson will be coming to Marion and signing autographs straight from the Hall of Fame. And Chad Clark will be performing music that day. It's going to be a happening. 1 to 5 Steak and Shake, Eclipse Mania 2024.
2024 and not reappearing for another 100+ years.
No, there's not going to be Eclipse Mania 2.
No, it's Eclipse Mania
No.
1 and done. So
Well, I might be
you
here for
better be
Eclipse
at this
Mania
one.
2.
Why would you be here for Eclipse Mania?
Well, I'll be 100 and what?
50?
20.
Oh, 120.
150.
Oh, sorry. I don't know when the next eclipse is.
God almighty.
I rounded up. Everyone's acting like this eclipse is like a once in a lifetime thing.
Is the
so-
hysteria really called for this? I think it's a little overkill.
I don't know. I told you earlier that I heard some of the local schools were canceling or delaying their start to the school day the following morning after the eclipse because
What are
of
people just going
traffic.
to do? Stop on the street?
That's what I'm curious. And if they do, the eclipse is like 3 minutes. So it's like you stop, you see it, get back in the car and go, I think. But
That's nonsense.
who knows? Who knows? I
People
don't
are
know what to
losing it.
expect.
What are they basing this on? We had an eclipse in 2017. I don't remember this kind of hysteria.
I mean, it was pretty big. I mean, we took a whole week. That whole week in science we took to build this thing so we could we took a cereal box of some kind and we made this thing so we could look into the cereal box and watch. Somehow inside the cereal box we watched the solar eclipse.
Was it exciting for you?
It was
No.
fine.
Because, we didn't go outside to, actually use them, so, the eclipse was going on while we were getting out of school, so, we could have done it then, but I was I'd rather just get on the bus, honestly.
Somebody did give me a pair of glasses today, though, so I finally have glasses for this thing.
Well, that's what
I got
still
glasses
gotta
in
buy
my Easter gift. I got some then. I was like, oh, perfect. I needed these, so that was my...
I have a pair now.
I'll just look at it. It'll be fine. My eyes are already bad.
You're Ray Charles next week on this show. Don't, Well, thank God we'll have Thunderbolt here next week, too, so he can... Because you'll be blind.
It's not gonna melt my eyes.
You better watch it next week, too, because you say anything, you get in a fight with Thunderbolt, he's liable to put the crush on you.
Is that
That's
right?
true.
You'll catch Thunderbolt. He'll get you right in the chops.
I believe it. How old is Thunderbolt now?
Oh, he's 82, but he's got a few good left in.
I bet
Trust
he
me.
does. He knows what he's
Oh, yeah,
doing.
he knows how to throw them.
I think
He
at
was-
82, he'll get you still.
I think he was a brass knuckle champion when he was younger.
Brass knuckle champion.
Yeah. You want to find out about that? The old brass knuckles?
I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, oh, well, good. Say the wrong thing and you'll find out all about it. All right, let's get to the current events because that is what is a lot of fun here. A recent survey by the dating app Wingman. Well, you can tell this is going to be real scientific, can't you?
Wingman.
A recent survey by the dating app Wingman found 65% of Gen Zers. We love to talk about the Gen Zers.
They do.
The Gen Zers prefer a virtual first date because it's more efficient.
No.
I've never even
Well, that's
heard
what it says.
No. I've never even heard of Wingman. So
Wingman says that 65% of Gen Zers prefer a virtual first date.
I've never heard of a virtual first date anyways, and I've never heard of Wingman.
Well, this isn't the question on the table.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
See, if this study was done by Tinder or Bumble
Yeah, if it
or
was done by,
Hinge,
like,
something you've heard
Pew.
of before. Yeah, Pew
It was
even.
done
I
by
would
Pew.
take it from Pew,
Yeah,
but
should've been
Wingman?
done by
No,
Pew.
I think that they have a biased sample or something. Because
No, I think this is probably true. This sounds like Gen Zers.
No,
They
a
don't want-
virtual first date?
Well, so you disagree with it. So the question
Yes.
is, why do you not want a virtual first date?
I think that whenever you're first starting to talk to somebody, there's already enough like anxiety and wondering how it's going to go, and you want to be comfortable. And I feel like if you have a virtual first date, it's going to make it less comfortable if you have a second date or a third date. Like you're not going to like be able to be around the person and see and grow in comfortability, if that makes sense, beforehand if you're just on a virtual first date.
What do you think?
You know, I'm not even sure.
You don't get on Wingman when
I'm
you
not
get home?
even sure what. You'd have to explain to me what a virtual first date is. Like, you just
Probably like over Zoom or something.
Yeah, you Zoom and eat dinner together, I guess.
No, you just Zoom and so you know if that person's a dud or
I mean, at that point, you might as well just call it a phone call, and then you know, like give it a 2 hour, like an hour long phone call, and you're like, all right, see ya.
Yeah, but see what if you see that person or talk to that person and you're thinking, I don't want to spend the money on dinner. You know, I think that's the idea here.
I mean, I guess if it lets you know you don't want to spend the money on dinner, that's fine. But like, put in a little more. I'm not going on a virtual first date. Like,
Yeah.
if they don't want to pay for dinner, or we don't want to
most
go out on dinner together.
You're going to be paying for the dinner though, because the guy pays and pays and pays and pays.
What if I didn't?
There's not going to be a second date.
I would go Dutch.
Oh, you say that now, but I'm telling you, that would stay in the back of your mind on the first date.
I would notice, and
Yes,
I
you
would be
would.
like, But like, I would do it. I wouldn't like.
I
make
bet
a scene or-
subconsciously, even if subconscious, I bet your interest in that guy would go down.
I don't know about that.
I think it would.
I don't know.
I think it would.
I
The
don't know.
girls want to be paid for it. I'm telling you, if you don't grab that check on date number 1,
It's just tradition.
see? It's a bad tradition, but it is a tradition.
It's a tradition.
Well, so I guess we think this is not true, even though it is, but
According to whoever Wingman is.
see, I think the problem is you can't smell the person. You can't, there are things people do, idiosyncrasies that you actually have to be in the room with.
Yeah. What if they're, doing something
What if
strange?
they get drunk? They get drunk at dinner or something. You're not going to catch that. What if they got like beer bottles laying on the floor under their Zoom?
Yeah. What if they have a lot of bathroom breaks and they're going outside to actually smoke a cigarette or something? Like,
Yeah, you don't know.
you don't know.
You don't know on the first date.
So I think in person, definitely, I would not want to do a virtual first date at all.
So no virtual first dates, I guess, is the point. And I just wouldn't do it because people have a weird smell. They have a weird presence sometimes, like to pick their nose or something. You're not going to show that on the Zoom.
That's so true. I'm with you.
So no virtual first dates. All right. Now, the Huffington Post looks at a trend that grew out of working at home during the pandemic. Employees are taking hush trips without telling their employers. So they'll actually be on vacation doing their job, and they might Zoom in from a vacation spot or just do their work from a cabin or wherever they are. What do you think?
I think that's true. I mean,
Hush trips.
I mean, so long as the work is getting done still, I don't know why it's any of the, like, if you are supposed to be working from home, or like you just like work not in an office, so long as your job is on the computer, I don't know why it matters to them where you're at, so long as the job is getting done still.
especially if the job is like complete
supposed to
X
be
amount
working.
of tasks.
Yeah, but
It's like if you do
you
the
are.
tasks you need to complete, why does it matter where you're completing them from,
Yeah.
or like the amount of time it takes you? Because
See-
a lot of people have jobs where they have to sit there for like 8 or 9 hours, and they don't have 8 or 9 hours worth of work they need to complete, but they're probably not going to go to their employer and ask for more work. So they're just like hanging out at work trying to kill the time.
Yeah, but I think your employer is paying for a certain amount of hours for you to be there. And I think that's where it becomes troublesome. Because
I agree, but I think that the employees should change it, or like employers should change it so that they're paying for you to complete the amount of tasks they need done or something. Like, because I don't see an issue with people doing that. Like, I agree with Matt.
well, I think it's fine if they do it, but why does it have to be hush then? Why can't you tell your employer that you're doing it?
Well, I don't know why your employer needs to know that you're not at home. If you're, like I said, you're still doing your job and the job is still getting done. So why is anything that you're doing relevant to your employer other than your job?
Because I think it's creating a whole trend. Like, what if you have a job where maybe you are working at home, but, oh, you know what, I need you here tomorrow for something. Or I need you to go do this in the town I think you're in.
You see, but that's...
And then, oh, wait, you're not there.
That's a little different, because I don't know that this guy's like an exec in a company or something. Like, I think he just works from home.
Yeah, but you know,
if you
prior
just
to
work from home, you're not getting called into an office.
But prior to the pandemic, if you did this, like said, I'm sick, and then went on a vacation, they would say that's bad. That's poor acumen for your business. So I don't know. It's weird that now we think it's okay just because people can do their job from home. Because if you called in sick and went on a...
No. I thought that this person was just, like, already working from home.
You are.
So I'm confused here.
Yeah, they're not calling in sick.
No, but you used not to be able to do that if you worked in the office, which most people did prior to the pandemic.
So I'm confused.
Which is silly. I mean, they found out that you can do work from home, so why do you make people go into an office if they would rather be at home and or on a trip doing
because
the same job?
I think it creates problems. I think it creates problems, first of all. I think it creates depression. I think it creates lack of physical contact with people, lack of communication. I think your communication skills suffer. I think there's a problem with it.
I agree that those things are true, but I feel like they should have the option maybe require that they spend 30 weeks in office and then you have X amount that you can work from home. That way people are still able to be at home if they want to, but still in office other times. Because I agree with what you say in a sense that it does have repercussions if you're not in office ever.
Yeah, I think it's just a problem when you do it that way, because what happens is that I think you don't want to leave the house. I mean, because you're there all the time.
Well, I mean, people who work in office jobs aren't particularly active anyways. They usually will go home. They'll usually
What?
So
Run that by me again?
people who work in offices aren't usually active.
No, not during maybe the work day, but
Well,
some of them are runners and athletes and so on and so forth.
Well, okay, yeah, but what's the difference between that person who could do the same exact thing if they just did it from home? They could just finish their job and then, get done and then run around the block or whatever they usually run. Okay, versus there's going to be, but the majority of people are going to get leave their house, go to work, sit in an office, do their job, leave the office, go home, sit home. So it just cut out the middleman and just.
But I don't think I don't know that that's the majority of people. I think some people, you don't get any socialization by running around the block, but it doesn't mean you're inactive.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you lose the socialization of being in an office with other people, and now you're running at home, which you probably were doing in the beginning, but you still don't have the socialization of being in an office. I don't know that makes you inactive to be in an office.
I think you would definitely, you could still have Discord exist. You could be in a big chat with literally the whole office, as a matter of fact. So that way you don't have to scream across the office. Say you sit in one corner and your friend sits in the other corner, it doesn't matter. You guys are all in the same area now. Discord exists. Be in one server.
I don't know. I've met a lot of people at work.
That's true. We did meet
I've met a lot of people online over Discord.
Yeah, but had we
friends.
worked at home, I think it would have been different. I think because this was all about meeting people in person.
I agree that you do lose something if you're not working from home, but if you're able to do the job from home and your employer is refusing to allow that to ever happen, I just think it's a little silly. That's just my opinion.
Well, I don't know why you have to lie, though. That's the whole point. A hush trip. Why not just tell the truth?
I mean, if you already work from home, I don't know why you have to tell your employer. If you already
because that's it. Work from home. You're not at home.
It doesn't. You're doing your work. I don't know if it matters if you're at home or not.
Well, maybe it does. If it doesn't, then tell them.
If it doesn't matter, then why do they need to know where you're at?
Well, exactly.
My business does not need the company I work for does not need to know where I am if I don't work. If I work from home, they just and I'm still doing my job.
Well, apparently they might have a problem.
They don't need to know where I am.
Doesn't it seem as though as if they might have a problem if you don't want to tell them?
I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. Like, would you let a cop search your house? Like if you don't have anything in your house, what's the issue with letting the cop search your house? They're not gonna find anything.
They can search my house. They ain't gonna find anything.
You see, but like you don't have to, because that's not you don't. I mean, you just don't have to do that unless they have a warrant.
Right, but if they
so like if I said no, I mean, it could look suspicious to them all they wanted to, but like I have the right to say no.
But why are you doing that?
So like, why do they need to? What? Because I have the right to. Why do I don't have to.
But this is not your right. No, your employer.
I don't have to tell them where I am.
Yeah, but I think you're confused here because your employer's paying you. So during those,
I don't have to tell them where I am. As long as I'm doing the job. As long as the job is getting done.
I don't think that's true.
It doesn't matter.
I know some companies
they pay me to do a task.
That
the task got done.
Have allowed to work from home, and then they had people like going on vacations, and so they started putting like tracking devices in their computer to make sure that you weren't leaving the state with that laptop that the company provides or something. Which, I mean, I don't know that I agree or disagree with it, but
if you have to keep it hush, that means there's probably a problem.
There's probably a reason why. Yeah, your employer probably doesn't like it.
I mean, it's a little bit different, I guess, if you have to take like a corporate laptop with you on vacation.
No, I'm just saying,
if you're doing work from like your laptop at your house, just take your laptop.
But my question is, why do you have to hide it from the employer?
Why does your employer need to know where you're at?
Don't answer the question. That's not the question. Why do you have to hide it from the employer?
Why does the
employer's paying you? You're not paying the employer. So why do you have to hide it from the employer?
They don't need to know where I'm at.
They're paying you.
I'm doing my job.
Okay, but why can't you tell them that?
Well, if they want to call me up and ask me, I'm sure I can be like, yeah, I'll send you the files right now. They're done.
No, but I'm saying, why wouldn't you tell them where you were?
Why do they need to know where I'm at? This is
You're answering a question. You're not answering the what. Why do you not tell them where you are?
Because it's irrelevant. My job is getting done.
I think it's relevant to them. Is the point here?
No. It's not relevant to them.
If I ask you where you are, and you say, I'm at Starbucks, and I find out you're in Hawaii, why did you not tell me you were in Hawaii? Why'd you tell me you were at Starbucks?
Oh, because I think you might have a problem if I'm in Hawaii.
There you go.
Why is the company asking me where I am?
Because they're paying for you. They're paying that time.
Maybe it's a hush trip because the people feel that it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And they would rather their employer find out they were on a trip and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I couldn't be in Hawaii and do my job. Rather than being like, can I go to Hawaii and do my job? And them telling you no. So I think that's the point of the hush trip.
Well, I think if somebody lied to me, it would be, whether or not it had anything, I would say, why'd you do that? What's the point of that?
Yeah, I mean, it does make it seem like you're trying to keep something secret, obviously, if you are lying.
Yeah, so herein lies the problem.
I don't think I would lie.
So if they said, where are you? You're going to say...
I guess, but I wouldn't just go out of my way to be like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be working from X location today.
But why not?
If they ask me where I'm at, why does it matter?
Because they're paying you.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
It's going in a circle, but I'm trying to get to a point of where your employer holds the cards here because they can fire you and that check can stop coming and then there aren't going to be any more hush vacations or hush trips or whatever. It's going to be just hush because you're not going to have anything. So my point is they do hold the cards in that situation. So why are you keeping things hidden from them?
It's not that I'm hiding things. Why would I go out of my way to be like, hey, by the way, I'm doing this? If they asked me where I was at, I'd be like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm my job's still getting done with the same quality that it always gets done with. Why does it matter to you what I'm doing, where I'm at?
I don't know if that's true, though. I really don't know if that's true. If you're on vacation and everybody's going to the beach that you're with and you really want to go to the beach, but, I got to do this, but I really don't have to do it in a timely manner because I'm working at home, I don't know that'd be the same quality. You probably try to rush through it. That's another thing with working at home where I think it becomes a problem.
I mean, you're definitely dividing your time differently because, you you work a little and then you're probably like, switching the clothes from the washer to the dryer or doing something like in your house, so your attention's divided. I'm just saying, I think that a lot of jobs that do require in-office time don't have the 9 hours of, work that they expect you to be there for provided to you. So like, I feel like part of an office job is just being there and like socializing, and like that's almost what the company like wants you to do or something.
I think so. It's just interpersonal office behavior. Now this is interesting. An online influencer generated by AI with 11,000 followers has, I guess this person has now found a hosting gig. It's a girl generated by AI. And the company has said this is not to replace human beings. Humans are irreplaceable. And she's not there to take anybody's job, but is this a bad trend?
I'm confused. There's just a fake influencer?
No, an online influencer generated by AI, not a real person, who has 11,000 followers, has just been hired for a hosting gig.
What's hosting?
I guess hosting something online. It's a fake person, though.
Oh, an online event that they're hosting?
Yeah. Looks like a real person. But it's a fake person. It's an AI, artificial intelligence generated person.
I feel like that could cause problems, obviously. I mean, they say hired. It's not like they're paying a fake person.
Well, I think they are.
And they might be paying the influencer who created the fake person.
Well, right. They're not.
Yeah.
You can't pay a fake person, but they're paying the influencer. But this is a bad trend, I think. Because then couldn't anybody be replaced?
Yeah,
Any
it
musician,
tries
anybody?
to
Well, I
replace
mean,
people.
like, they have this problem on YouTube, actually, to where, like, I don't know how many YouTubers do it, like, as of now, but it's becoming a growing trend to where, like, there are just AI YouTubers, like, there are just people who made, like, channels, and then they just, like, they basically just set up this AI that plays games. Like, they don't even play the games. Like, they just set up an AI that plays games and then uploads those games to YouTube. So it's literally just passive income for that person. And then there's an argument going on whether or not that should be allowed because it takes the creativity out of the games and it possibly damages all the livelihood of everybody else who does it. Because people are just going to start mass producing AI bots that post videos.
Yeah, but don't we like mistakes to some degree? Don't we like spontaneity? I don't think you get that from AI, and I think that's the problem.
I agree. I think that you would notice, like, with enough time that things didn't seem right if you were watching the AI or, like, if you are, at an event that the AI is hosting. Because, I mean, I know companies will often have AI or, like, robot systems that will answer the phone and be like, oh, how can I direct your call? And you don't know how many times people get frustrated because the AI doesn't understand them. And I feel like they're going to run into similar situations here with an event or playing games where it's like, this just isn't human-like because the AI isn't developed that much. And I don't think it should be. Like, I feel like it's good to have some creativity and spontaneity.
Well, what kind of charisma is AI going to have?
I don't know. Auto-generated one, I guess.
I don't think you can generate charisma. I don't think you can generate personality. I think you could generate a host who's going to do everything perfect, but I don't think you could generate a personality.
Not yet, at least. I mean, with the way things are going, I feel like they're trying to get it there where they can almost, like, generate personality and like generate distinctness. I think if they like honed in on one specific type of person, like,
well, I mean,
like
the whole concept behind artificial intelligence is, well, artificial intelligence. We want to make at some point a machine that's so advanced that it basically feels human emotions.
But why?
I don't know. I'm with you on this one. I don't see the logic behind. Well, I guess there is actually. So they because they're machines and they can do like all. Essentially, they live like 1 million lives and then they come to life. I don't remember how exactly it works, but they program it to like say it's lived like 1 million lives and then all those experiences put into one robot. But they're gonna try to use it for like medicine or things because robots can like learn faster. They can just like download things from the internet and then insta learn it. They're gonna try to like use it for things to like cancer research and things like that. Search.
Well, you know what? Maybe somebody one day will be sitting here who's computer generated, but they won't need us. But until that happens, we're gonna go for a short break and come back right after this break. Scott Spears back with Kerrington Nelson and Matt Morgan, and we're having some interesting conversation here about things like AI and dating apps like Wingman. So why not go into this story? I think this story is fascinating. We did it on the radio show Friday night, but we haven't done it on this program. A guy was at a wedding, and you got to follow this whole story. A guy was at a wedding with his wife, and an attractive man asked her to dance. And he said that's fine, so the wife got up and danced with the attractive man. Now, while the wife was doing this, the man got jealous. So then a year passed, and later, the next time they were at a wedding, his ex-girlfriend was there. So he got up and danced with her purposely to make his wife jealous. Now, this man knows that he has jealousy issues, so he needs to get help for them. So the point is, and I think he is going to get help for them, but have you ever had jealousy issues? Because I think this is emblematic of a whole other thing. It's emblematic for sure.
I've definitely been jealous previously. I think I'm pretty good at like controlling jealousy, but like I feel like that's a human. It's human to be jealous sometimes. I think that what he did to his wife was really mean, though.
Well, I mean, it was payback.
Yeah, and that was mean. It's not her
Really?
fault. Yeah, I mean, he said go ahead and dance with him.
Yeah, but I don't even understand why you get jealous about that, I guess is what I'm confused about. The man asked her to dance. I mean, what did she do? She got up and danced right in front of him. It's not like anything was going on.
Yeah, and didn't you say that the man asked the husband if it was okay? So it's
Yes.
not like he was even like ignoring him and being disrespectful to him or something. Like
That is weird, though.
that's weird that he would get upset about that. I think.
I mean,
He's
at that
insecure.
At that point, I think you should have just said no. Just said, nah, man, just go dance with somebody else.
Yeah, if he's that jealous and that insecure.
Yeah,
that's
but
what
how
he
does
should
that
do.
come off at a wedding?
Well, I mean, how does dancing with your ex-girlfriend in front of your wife come off at a wedding?
Well, I don't know if that made her jealous or not. It doesn't really let us know that, but he realizes why he did it.
Well, that's, I mean...
Have you ever done something to make somebody jealous?
No, I mean, if I have, definitely not to that extent. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but...
So you've never been jealous and never done anything to make anybody jealous?
Sounds about right.
See, I think jealousy in some ways is a good thing. Because I think it, not necessarily jealous in this particular way, but jealous of somebody who's attained something, I think is a good thing, because maybe that will spur you to try to attain that.
Yeah, that's very true. Like it sets goals for you almost. You know, if you like feel that inside of you, you know that's something you care about and you want, obviously.
Yeah. So, a time when you were jealous or tried to make somebody jealous?
I know I shared a story on the radio, but it's not coming to me right now what it was, and I think you didn't like it anyway.
Well, I don't think I did dislike.
I think you said that one wasn't very interesting, and we moved on. So I don't know that I have a good jealous story.
See, I don't remember moments like that.
You don't?
No.
No, it wasn't super like that was bad or anything. It was just like, well, okay, and then we just kind of breezed on. So I don't know if I have a good jealous story. Like I've never done anything crazy that I can think of that related to being jealous or trying to make somebody jealous. Like I know that I've probably done that, but
Like, I know
can't
now
recall.
people will take pictures online and try to do themselves all up, and hopefully that the person you want to make jealous will
a
see that
thirst
picture.
trap.
There you go.
Thirst traps.
I forgot this had a title. That's right.
You forgot of the thirst trap.
I did forget
title.
of the thirst trap.
Yes, where you will have to make yourself look all beautiful. I saw a thirst trap the other day from a girl I went to high school with. I noticed that
How do you know it is?
because she hadn't posted anything in quite some time, and in the photo she had recently gotten her hair done. So like, and I mean, it looked kind of
Took a shower.
interesting. Oh yeah, she looked clean, and she might have had some makeup on even, but her hair, it was like half red and like another color, so like it was interesting, different looking, of course. And then she had changed her username or her like name on her thing to her like first name and middle name instead of her last name, and I just noticed that there were a lot less pictures with her husband. So I was like, either she's trying to like they're going through a divorce, she's trying to like get back at him right now or win him over, but I was like, there's something going on here. It gave that vibe.
You know, this can backfire, though, and I'm going to try to be as vague about this, because I like to tell real stories on this show, but I don't want to also make anybody feel bad or anything of that nature, but this does spur to mind with this story, and I don't think when we did this story on Friday that I knew about this.
Okay.
So this is a new story. Recently, I saw somebody who I used to be friends with, and they had taken a picture with who I'm guessing it's a new relationship. And I saw this picture. I didn't actually see the picture. Somebody told me about the picture, so I looked at the picture. And I looked at the picture, and it was depressing. Because the person that they were with, I mean, oh, how do you say this in a nice way?
It's not something to be jealous over.
No, I don't know how anybody would be jealous of that. It certainly would not. I mean, boy, gee whiz.
You feel bad. You said you saw the picture and you felt bad.
I went, oh.
You said, oh no,
Oh.
yeah, yes.
Like, I think I did. I even grabbed my throat and went, oh.
That's how I felt. The girl from high school. I was like, oh, like the marriage is. That stinks. I'm sorry. Like it wasn't something to be jealous
I just
of.
couldn't believe it, though. I mean, I really couldn't believe it, because knowing this person for a long time, I never would have dreamed in 1,000 years that would be where she would end up.
Yeah, but all you can say is, as long as they're happy, I guess. Like.
Oh, yes, I'm sure they're happy.
For now. And then in 6 months when they're not happy
I wasn't happy seeing the picture. It was like, oh, my Lord. What? But it wasn't any kind of, not even a smidge of jealousy. It was all like, oh, what happened to you? Mm-hmm. What has happened to your life? You know, I mean, honest to God.
Yeah.
I mean, get some, and here's what I really thought. You know what I really thought? This was a posed picture. This is what this person looks like when they're posing. What do they look like when they're not posing? Oh my God.
Yeah. That might have been a jump scare if you saw a candid photo of sorts.
Let me ask you something. Now, this is kind of an offbeat question. I'm trying really hard not to pinpoint in on this.
Okay.
But when you take a picture, should you have a big thing of tobacco jammed in your mouth when you're taking a picture, a posed picture? I mean, is this etiquette?
I think that's similar to like having a cigarette in your mouth for a picture.
Oh, no, I think that's worse. These people are spitting in bottles.
You
know
think
they're
that
spitting in
chew
bottles.
is worse?
Oh, yes. Oh, but frankly, I don't want to be around either one.
Yeah, I think both.
But I'm
are
telling you, this is, you know, you're getting that all the time. And it affects their speech. You know, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah.
You know, one of those. I don't want that. I mean, the smoking is not great, but I can understand them. They're not spitting in a bottle.
Yeah, either one, it's just like,
Plus,
why
I
would you
can't
choose
tell.
that?
I mean, if they're smoking and they would put it down, you wouldn't know it. But that thing jammed right in there, you see that.
I mean, if they spit it out, you wouldn't know, but...
Well, that's right. If somebody's taking a picture of you, spit the tobacco out.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Spit the chew out, man. Spit it out.
You heard it here first on WWGH. If you're taking photos, take out your chew.
Is that a turn on? I mean, what is that?
Take out your chew in photos.
I'm shocked. And listen, other people saw this picture too, and I know they were thinking the same thing, whether they said it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
What? Like, what?
That's not a good look.
The chew in.
That's not a good look, that's
God
for sure.
almighty. Well, I better take my chew to be as I'm giving my Hall of Fame speech. Well, Thunderbolt was a good-looking, you know? One of those type of... No! You don't class it up a little bit. Come on.
That's for sure. That tells me that person probably did not want to be in the photo with the other person. And it's like, if that person values like taking pictures, I feel like they're going to get frustrated with the person with chew in their mouth all the time who's not like excited to take a picture with you or even cares enough to spit out the chew before taking the photo.
Oh, it just looked like low self-esteem all over the place.
Yeah.
It was sad.
That's sad.
And I think they made it their profile picture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Ooh.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's a little messy. But they think that's good, I think. Look who I got. Look what I was able to scrape up off the floor. I mean, honest to God. If you ever want to feel better about yourself, go look at that.
Yeah, it's like if things are on the floor, we should leave them there sometimes.
Yeah, don't do that. You know, listen.
Gum on the sidewalk, you're not scraping that up.
No, you didn't impress me with that picture. I mean, honestly. And I'm not trying to impress you. I get you. Fine. Listen, you didn't impress anybody with that picture. I'm sorry. I'm going to hear about that. I know I'll hear about it. But you know what? Listen, that's all true. Nothing I said there was not factual. You cannot do that and not be called on the carpet for it.
That's true. That's true.
And just, I didn't even see the picture. I wish I hadn't seen the picture, to be honest with you, because it was depressing. I'd rather be jealous. I would rather be like, oh, good for you, like that. No, that certainly wasn't jealousy.
Yeah, it probably makes you feel worse about yourself. You're like, oh, wow, I used to be friends and hang out.
Yeah, clearly your taste is going down.
The taste is just...
Your taste is shot.
Yeah.
God almighty, what must the carpets look like at your house now?
Yeah.
You know, that whole
hurts.
thing.
That hurts.
Well, that's the way it goes. So anyway, jealousy. I can't remember being jealous of anybody, to be honest with you. Maybe.
That makes sense for you.
What does that mean?
You lack some emotions, which is okay. And
Some of them fell out, I guess.
So lacking jealousy, I'm like, yeah, that I would have guessed that.
Now, what does that mean? I lack some emotions.
The inability to cry.
Why is that crying thing such a thing for you?
It's just an emotion that people feel sometimes. Cry. My favorite emotion. I'm kidding. Okay, but like, I feel like it's part of it. You don't get jealous, and you don't get like overly joyed. You don't get super sad at funerals. You're just like, jealousy doesn't.
But isn't that good to be even, Steven?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like you saying I don't get jealous, that's on
Well,
par.
I just don't even know why. What's to be jealous of, I guess.
Well, but not that. That's for sure.
No, certainly that didn't make me jealous. Now I get. I admire certain traits that people have. I was telling somebody today, I cannot sing, I cannot play an instrument, so I admire those things when people can do them.
Yeah.
I know I'm not jealous of them.
Yeah. I guess, like you talked about earlier, whenever somebody's doing something and if you feel that jealousy, it's like, oh, I wish I could do that, did do that, will do that. So maybe it's that, and you love your life, so maybe
I do, and I don't really ever think I ever did it. I mean, this whole thing that we're about to do is pretty emblematic of a good life.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
And boy, you can't explain that to people, though. I try to say it in the most positive way. If you have kids, if you have a husband, if you have a wife, that's okay, but a lot of people do that. What this is something few people do. Now, that doesn't make me better than you. It's just different. It's a different feeling. You cannot say that to somebody without them getting ticked, especially somebody who's got a wife and kids or has a husband and kids.
Well, I feel like a little bit of that is, the jealousy aspect coming
Exactly,
out,
and I think they can't admit that.
Oh, I mean, once you make that decision, it's not something you can turn around. Once you started with the marriages, you had one kid, you're in that permanently. So I feel like it did take away some of your other opportunities to not have those things. So, I mean, as much as it was your decision and you don't really have room to be jealous, I could see that they would be.
Well, I even thought, let's say, God forbid, I woke up in the morning and was sick. Or let's say something happened and I fell over, something goofy. I still was asked to do it. It was my choice not to do it. You cannot take that away.
No.
It's not even about doing it. It's about being the one who was asked to do it.
Yeah. Having the opportunity is something that's rare.
Opportunities are very important in life. You got to snatch them when they're there because there are moments in life where you get that V in the road and just try to take the right one. It's hard sometimes because you got the pros and the cons and all that sort of thing going on. But you'll live a happier life if you take the right one. Now, guess who maybe might not be taking the right road in life is women, because apparently women can't interpret men's emotions.
All of women?
All women cannot interpret men's emotions. And apparently it's called hermenticulator. Hermenticulator. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. I do recall this
a good
conversation. Hermenticulator.
Hermenticulator.
Bud Rosenthorn, all of our favorites.
Yeah, hermenticulator. So women can't interpret men's emotions, and it has a term. It's called hermenticulator.
Yeah. Yep, hermenticulator.
Well, but the question is, woman, can you interpret men's emotions? Clearly not.
No, I don't think I can extremely well, but I think it's situational. I don't think it's something I can generalize as far as men and women, because I don't think I can understand all women's emotions either. I think it's.
But do you think men are harder to read?
I would say by nature, because they tend to show less emotions. They're not wearing their heart on their sleeve, as you might say.
What do you think, Matt?
As far as, I would say that that's probably true. I think that men, for the most part, have a, for instance, how, you and Kerrington will, I guess, banter back and forth.
Yes.
And a lot of people might see those things as, hurtful comments.
They do.
But a lot of times, guys just be doing that all the time. They just bash on each other. It's nothing. But, if you did that with somebody else, instead of, you might be feeling I don't know, maybe doing it for fun, but they might just think you're being rude.
But I've determined that the reason it's that way in our particular situation is because people think I'm doing it to her because she's the girl. She's the only girl, and I'm coming down on the girl. And I think they think she's being disrespectful to the older person in the group. So I think that's the way...
Disrespectful?
Yeah, I think that's why
it comes what they say about me? Am I disrespectful?
Why? That's just my interpretation of the matter. What do you think here, Matt?
I don't think. I wouldn't. I mean, maybe as far as you attacking Kerrington because she's the girl, I mean, I could see how people might think that, but I mean, as far as I don't think that
you're attacking the person who's the moderator. You're attacking the person who put you on there.
I just
No.
Whatever.
No.
she just
That's how I take it.
It's just fun, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it
is fun for me.
We love it.
I can't interpret it. I'm just saying, how do your parents take it? Because you say your parents watch it.
Yeah, they do.
Because your mom said to me at a party, she said, keep her from being sassy.
She did.
Yeah.
Like I feel like.
So apparently they're aware of the banter.
Yeah, no, I think
on
it's
Christmas
just,
morning you were nasty to me at your house.
I was not nasty to
Nobody
you.
else you were nasty. Sean was there, Matt was there, your whole family was there, and the 2
Nasty.
shots you took that day were at me.
Nasty.
I even had to sit up during the movie and say, really? You just said that to me on Christmas Eve morning?
On Christmas Eve morning of all days.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt right in the moment, so.
But that's just the relationship you and I have.
We do.
But not off the air. It's very
No.
strange. It stops off the air. It's not really there off the air.
Except Christmas Eve morning.
Except Christmas Eve. But I think there were people around.
Yeah, I was
Like when it's you and I, it's not like that at all.
No.
No.
No, I mean, the other night it wasn't like that. It was
No,
pretty...
we had a fun conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a food issue, but that's a whole other
Well-
thing. We're not getting into that. But what do you think, Matt?
As far as what?
Do you have trouble reading women, or do you think this is right that women have trouble reading men more?
I mean, I think. See, I mean, I don't know. I think that I can read women's emotions pretty okay for the most part, but I also think that most of the time I just don't care. If I'm being honest with you, I just choose to not do anything because it's a waste of my time.
But do you really think you're reading them right?
Yeah, you see, but that's the thing. I have a read on what I think it is, but as far as whether or not that's what it is debatable.
Interpreting the accuracy, that is difficult. Because
So, I don't.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm accurate.
Like I would say,
bet you
yeah. You
do.
see, that's the thing. Like I think I'm pretty accurate too, but like as far as whether or not I am accurate is up to everybody else. You know.
Not really.
Well,
Accuracy is subjective.
Well, no, it's either you're on or you're not.
Listen, let's say I think you're depressed and you tell me you're not depressed. I still think you're depressed. You could be lying.
I could not be lying.
Right.
So like
But I'm still going to think it.
It's just one of those things.
But you gave off a vibe that you were depressed.
Right, so his vibe doesn't mean that's the way he's feeling, though.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, but you just don't know that him being depressed is true also. So it's hard to know the truth in these case scenarios, I think.
And nobody tells
Well, I
the
mean,
truth.
it's because like it's impossible to plug into.
Do you
somebody
mind
else's
that I have
emotions,
this
so,
big
like, I
shoe
can
in my
never
mouth when we
truly
take this
read you.
picture? No, I don't mind that at all. Clearly.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Looks good. Let's make it my profile picture. Oh, Lord in
Well,
heaven.
you see, I think the thing is with the chew is that I think
Oh,
I think
God.
the people think that I think they think that you might not be able to see it because it's not like a cigarette. It doesn't.
Oh, you can see it.
It doesn't like hang out of your mouth. It's just like
You
a
don't
bowl,
say it.
and they're like. Yeah,
What do you got? Some kind of thing
it doesn't
growing
look
there?
bad.
No, it didn't look bad at all. Couldn't tell a thing.
No.
Couldn't tell a thing.
But they're just used to it, so like then like yeah, you can't
See,
even
but
tell,
they
you're
think
like,
they think it looks okay, but it doesn't. So me thinking it doesn't look okay is right because the consensus is that it doesn't look okay. Doesn't matter what they think.
I don't.
I mean, it doesn't look okay to you. I mean, maybe other people...
And society.
Well, I mean, the person made it their profile picture, and apparently they're like, this
Well, maybe
is
the
fine.
girl should get a big
Yeah, to
thing of
each their
shoe
own,
and jam it in
bro.
her mouth.
To each their
Be
own.
a little couple thing they do.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, I just can't even. Whatever. What? It's disgusting. Anyway, so... But I think I can read women. As a matter of fact, I think women are far more emotional. So I think this is right.
Well, I mean, I would agree as to the fact that women are far more emotional.
Women will lie to you, though. And take nothing's wrong. What's wrong? Nothing.
Yeah, but when I feel like when women tell you there's nothing wrong, like
Something's wrong.
no, like you definitely like it's not even like that. Like they're like you can tell that they're lying to you.
You know it.
And
And
then,
by
like-
their tone of voice, you know something's wrong.
Not even by their tone. Sometimes you can just look at them and be like, they're upset.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
I definitely know what you mean. So whenever somebody asks me if something's wrong and genuinely nothing is wrong, I'll make an extra effort to like convey a like, no, I'm fine, like everything's okay, like type of response. Because I feel like if you say it like, no, I'm fine, like obviously people are going to be like, that doesn't seem fine.
Right. So, something's off is what they're saying to themselves.
Yeah, but like if I mean people have asked me that before if something's wrong and then like nothing has been wrong and then I'll try to make like an extra effort to convey that everything's fine.
Okay. I don't know. I just think that if you believe something's wrong with somebody, that I believe there probably is something wrong. They're just not telling you.
That's just not always true.
But how do you know?
Well, I can think whenever I was on a trip with my friends recently, we had been together for, several days, and they were like talking about how I had been kind of quiet, and they thought that something might have been wrong. And I was like, oh, no, I'm just like a little tired. I've just been trying to take things in.
Is that what you're like on trips? You get quiet?
No, I hadn't been super quiet. Like, I was with some people who could talk, let me tell you. Like, I was like, well, when was I going to talk? Like, there was never a moment for me to get in there. But I didn't want to.
Chatty people.
Yes, yeah, they were chatting it up, and I was in a chill mood. I read my book, I sat, like, I just wasn't feeling it. But, like, I was absolutely fine, so I feel like it happens sometimes.
Well, I like peaceful, even sometimes when you're on a vacation or you're on a trip, because, when you're talking all the time, that's exhausting. And when you got things to do, sometimes you don't want to be talking because you're going to be talking later on constantly. Like I remember when we did the Mary Ellen event, we did a radio show that morning for 2 hours. And I think that was a little taxing to then go give speeches on everybody who was involved in that radio show.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, talking is work more than you would think. Like,
it really is.
I think so. I agree with that.
You can come off a stage really wringing wet because you put so much effort into making it good. I mean, like you told me, when you gave your speech at River Valley, which we've all conveyed was probably not the best speech in the world, that was because you were tired, you said. So it did have impact.
Well, yes, it was early in the morning, and I had gotten sick the day before, so it was just not a good lineup there.
Right. So, but by all accounts, you made it there, and you were able to speak.
Yes.
It was only 30 seconds. You should have been able to deliver, but because you were tired and were coming off a sickness, it didn't.
Yeah.
So it does matter. That's why I think you gotta rest a little. These things are not. I mean, it's not like lifting a barbell, but you gotta get yourself in the right frame of mind. And I think people think they can just walk on and do it, and they really can't.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things like that. Like professional sports are like that to an extent. I mean, like a lot of people will like line like will be like, I know like the basics, and they're like, I'm a professional. But like, if you don't have like fatigue is a big thing in professional sports. If you don't have the fatigue, a lot of times you'll miss the basic things. Like you won't read things right, or you'll you won't do the basic mechanics of right. So and having the energy to actually accurately do everything you're supposed to be doing is a big thing.
Well, I was telling somebody not too long ago that especially I was in regard to the speech coming up, because they would say, "Are you nervous?" And I said, I really lost the ability to be nervous long ago, and I think that was a bad thing. Because I think when you are nervous, you're more on your toes. You're thinking about it more. Mm-hmm. You're running it through your head more, and it comes off better when you're nervous. So what I try to do now is I try to get excited about it. That's the emotion I try to do. So I try to get hyped up and start moving. I'll start to walk back and forth, get the energy up where I'm not just sitting and then because it comes off like a yawn, because your energy is your energy. But if you're walking back and forth and maybe you're doing this with your hands and you're just getting the blood flowing when you go out there.
I mean, they've always said nervousness and excitement are like pretty interchangeable within your mind. Like if the emotion is like created similarly or something.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this. So like nervousness and excitement are like almost the same feeling, except one is like if you're on a roller coaster, you're excited, but when you're in line for a roller coaster, you're nervous. But they're basically the same feeling, except the one is more of a joy nervous, and then the other one is more of like a, I don't want to say dread, but I can't think of a better word.
Like scared?
I guess what you would think of when you think of nervous. It's
one of the reasons I don't write speeches is because it gives me excitement when I know the intro's coming. I know, let's see what happens. Let's see if it's going to be there. So that gives me the excitement.
Yeah, and then I mean, back to what we were talking about earlier. I feel like the rest is important when doing that, because if you hadn't rested and you hadn't had the time to chill before your speech or like in the days coming, it would be harder to like think on the spot and come up with what you want to say in those moments. Like if you're excited, if you're not excited, like no matter what, it's important.
You can give it. Here's a little pointer to everybody else, because speaking apparently is the biggest fear in the world. Dying is number 2.
Is that really?
Public speaking is the biggest fear in the world.
And dying is number 2.
No, dying's number 2. Wow. So it's better to be dead than speaking at the funeral apparently. But you know what I've noticed is that people think they can deliver as good a speech, and even as good as your speech is, if you do it with no, if people are talking to you right before and you just walk away from that conversation and go give it, it might be okay. I'm not saying it won't be okay. But if you take 5 minutes and like zone yourself, zen your brain into what you're about to do, it will have been better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you have now, like, you've basically sorted through everything that your brain was working through before, and now you're, like, fully focused on and, like, you know, putting your energy into the task at hand.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting thing.
Well, I mean, one of these days I'll have to do the experiment because I thought it was one of the most interesting things ever. Forever ago, there was this man who appeared on Oprah's show, and he had a string. And he had a string, and there was just like a washer attached to it. And he told Oprah to hold it, and she held it like this. And he said, like, make it do circles. Well, like just picture in your head this thing doing circles. Without moving your arm, just picture it. And then it started moving in circles. And then he said, reverse the circle, and then make it go forward to backward, and then, you know, backward to forward. Like, and you could just do that by thinking it and not moving your hand. And then he was like, and that is proof that every atom in your body is eavesdropping on what you tell your body to do. Therefore, like, you never want to be negative because your body listens to that. You always want to look at things positively.
Well, have you ever paid attention, and maybe you haven't until this point, but have you ever noticed any talk show, whether it's a nighttime talk show or a daytime talk show, if it has an audience, they always have a band and an announcer, and they intro you, and you come out. That's because if you do that 5 days a week, you're probably going to lose the nervousness of doing it. So you're not going to be amped up by nervousness. But not seeing the crowd before you come out, having that band play loud, having them say your name, having the crowd pumped up when you walk out there, it generates
It's like
you.
the
It
Eric
takes
Andre
you to,
show. Did you ever watch the Eric Andre show?
No.
I love it. Just the beginning of the show, he just destroys the entire set.
Oh wow.
And that's basically it. And the rest of the show is the rest of the show. The rest of the show has always been kind of like eh. But like the beginning of the show, he just destroys the entire set.
I remember going
It's
to see
fantastic.
David, when David Letterman was still on, I remember going to see him in New York. And before the show, he came out for like 2 minutes to talk to the audience, to just say hello. But then they start the show. And the band starts, and the announcer starts, and he goes backstage and throws on the sport coat. And the audience starts to scream, and when they go in, here's David Letterman, and the thing goes up, and the band plays, and it's a whole different, and the cameras are flying around the place. You can't help but get excited.
It's just a different atmosphere. I think the band definitely, like the loud noises going on, it's going to make you naturally be like, oh, a little bit more. Obviously, then the presenter has to talk louder because there was just something loud going on. If he came out and was like, hey, like after that, like that would be like a letdown. You're like, what? Like, that's weird.
Yeah, could you imagine after all that, he just walks outside and be like, how's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just when he came out there and talked to us in the beginning, it was very low key. It was,
Probably
you know,
just walked out. He's like,
yeah.
hi, everybody. Like,
thank you for coming, and you know, he made just a little offhanded joke, and but there was no energy involved in it. But when that show started, there's just things flying around, and it's let's go.
even though they had seen him 5 minutes prior, it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's different.
David Letterman now.
Now it's rolling.
It's like some kind of machine started up.
Yeah, it really. And I saw The View live one time. They didn't come out and talk before, but when that show starts, it's live, and they know they're going live at 11. And those women and they come out. They're not just sitting. The camera's not just turned on and they're at the table. They come from the back, and there's a lot of energy there.
Yeah, that's definitely probably all to build energy.
It is. And
I've never thought about that before. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's because if you do it 5 days a week, you're obviously going to lose the nervousness, so you've got to create some kind of energy when you walk in to see those people.
That's your biggest takeaway tonight. Create energy before public speaking.
That's why I will, right before we do a show, I will talk almost up to the point where Ted Williams is going, and now here's Scott Spears. I will be talking to the people in the studio almost right up until that point. Because in my mind, I'm going, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready for the line. So I'm building up some energy to blow in.
Yeah, that's true. You do. We do almost always right up to that. And here's your host, Scott Spears.
Yep.
We were making jokes. And
Usually when they're saying Scott, I might still be talking off the mic. And then when that mic goes up, there it comes. I know, here it comes. This has been a fun episode. We're going to Philadelphia, WrestleMania bound. WrestleMania 40 in the Hall of Fame. Catch it on Peacock on Friday night, 10 p.m. It's going to be something. These two are going to be part of the media credentialed group, and we're going to have a whole lot to talk about next week. And sitting here next week on The Exchange, the Hall of Famer himself, Thunderbolt Patterson. What an event it's going to be. For all of us here at The Exchange, have a great, great time. Until next time, Scott Spears heading for the dugout.